I used to think getting A+ grades was only possible if your brain was secretly powered by alien technology. Meanwhile, I was over here, proud owner of a perfectly average human brain, absolutely convinced that studying was supposed to be painful. Like, if you're not crying into your notes at 2 AM, are you even trying? But here's a plot twist. Nobody told me in school. Getting top grades is actually way easier than people make it out to be. You just have to know the most effective study methods and hack your brain into learning beast mode. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how to turn studying from a soul-crushing nightmare into something, well, not always fun, let's not get crazy here, but super effective. And who knows, you might actually start to like it. So stick around, because by the end of this you'll be armed with a secret sauce to crank out A+ grades without selling your soul. And worst of all, giving up your Netflix binge nights. Let's bust one of the biggest myths right off the bat. Most people think studying means locking yourself in a dark room for hours surrounded by 5 different colors of highlighters and slowly losing your will to live. Or they think getting A+ grades is only for the super geniuses, you know, the people who seem born knowing how to solve calculus while also learning Chinese Mandarin in their sleep. Here's the truth, studying doesn't have to be hard and you don't need to be the next Einstein. Most top students aren't smarter than you, they're just better at using simple smart habits that get the job done. It's like this, if 2 people are trying to chop down a tree and one of them has a dull axe and the other has a sharp one, who's going to finish first? It's not about who's stronger, it's about who's using the sharper tool. So in the rest of this video, I'll show you how to sharpen your tools. If you were always jealous of the smart kid with the colored notes next to you, I got you. This method will make you the star of the show from now on. It's time to tell your mom you got your life in order. Now without any further teasing, let's get to it. Let's go to notion.com and create an account. This app is free to use and was a real game changer for my study sessions. You can use different apps or even pen and paper, but Notion is like Word on steroids. See that big button that says Get Notion Free? Click it hard, like it owes you money. Then continue with the preferred login method. Verify your account and let's go to work. Then you can look through these settings as you like. I just skipped a bunch of them and clicked whatever I liked. Pick your own preference in these. Then delete all the junk and the pages that you don't need, right-click and move to Trash. I'm going to add a new empty page, and for this example I'm going to add a history page. Add an icon, icons are fun, and also a cover image to spice things up. Make your learning more fun whenever you can, and I like this for example. Then when you hit the slash page on Notion, you get a world of options, go through them for fun, but I'm going to add a page. And for this example it's about World War II, and we're going to make flashcards. Yes, like your teacher previously told you to do, but now you can make them digital here in Notion. Slash toggle, and then you can add a question and write an answer. And when you hit that triangle button, it opens and closes. Now, many people, they test themselves at the end, but you have to test yourself continuously. Active learning is key here. Add more questions and you can add toggles inside of toggles. Crazy, right? And here you can question exam yourself. Now when you type slash and then green background, I like to add them for the questions that I have right, slash red background for those that I have wrong, and slash yellow or slash orange for those which I am in doubt with. And while you're learning you can change the colors over and over again until most of them are green. Now you can go back to your history page and slash database inline, and you can drag your page inside of that table. Now it looks overwhelming, but it's very easy. Let's add a property, let's add a selection for this, and let's change the name to knowledge, because I want 3 degrees of knowledge: good, medium and very bad. You can also color grade these. And I'm going to add another selection property and I name this importance. So I can say it's very, medium or not important. And by the end of my exam period, when I go over my material, I want to see which are important and my knowledge is bad or medium. And I go over these flashcards again, and you can open them in multiple windows. And also what you do on one page will be affected on the other page, and you can go over them. It's also a very fun way to study. Now this is not a Notion tutorial in itself. Find a YouTube tutorial for that one. It's very fun to mess around with and you can go much deeper in the Notion setup, but these are the basics that can help you study. You can go over templates of other people, look for school material there, or link it to your Google Calendar for example. And if you're a real nerd like me, you can also buy a keyboard with macro keys. Now don't specially buy one for this, but I bound some Notion setup keys to the G keys there. And a small tip, make mind maps after each Notion page that you create to relearn it in another way. Alright, now that you're balling with your improved notes, it's time to crank up how to learn more effectively. Follow these tips in combination with each other. Tip number 1. Study less but more often. Yeah, you heard me right, less. If your grand plan is to cram in 10 hours straight once a week, congrats, you're basically torturing yourself. It's like trying to run a marathon with zero training, then wondering why you end up face planting at mile 3. Your brain hates cramming. It's not designed to absorb massive chunks all at once. Instead, it loves short, repeated sessions. That's why spaced repetition works like magic. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't bench press a truck once a month and expect to look like Thor. You lift manageable weights a few times a week, let your muscles recover and gradually get stronger. Same thing with your brain. Short, frequent study sessions, even just 20 to 30 minutes a day, help you remember way more than marathon study slogs. So if you want A+ results, stop bragging about us 10-hour cramming sessions. They're impressive for your caffeine tolerance, but pretty terrible for your memory. Tip number 2. Active recall beats passive reading every single time. Most people think studying means reading their notes over and over, hoping the info will magically stick. That's like watching cooking shows on YouTube and expecting to suddenly become Gordon Ramsay. Spoiler, your brain doesn't work that way. Passive reading feels productive because you're spending time with the material, but your brain is just cruising on autopilot, nothing's actually being tested or reinforced. Active recall is different. It's where you close the book, look away and try to explain what you just learned from memory. Then you check if you got it right. It's literally forcing your brain to work, to pull out the info, and that's how you build strong memory pathways. Want to level up even more? Write down what you remember on a blank page. Turns out, writing by hand activates parts of your brain that help lock in the knowledge way better than just staring at highlighted paragraphs. So ditch the endless rereading, quiz yourself, explain it out loud, or write it down from scratch. That's how you turn shaky knowledge into bulletproof A+ material. Tip number 3. Use the Pomodoro Technique. Fancy Italian name, super simple concept. Here's how it works. You set a timer for 25 minutes and focus on studying. No distractions, no phone, no quick scroll through Instagram, just you and your sexy brain. When the timer rings, you take a 5-minute break, walk around, stretch, grab a snack, pet your dog, whatever. Then you repeat this 3 more times and then take a longer break. 15 to 30 minutes should do. It's like interval training but for your brain. Why does this work so well? Because your brain isn't wired to focus hours straight. It needs small intervals of deep concentration with tiny breaks to recharge. Plus, knowing you've only got pushed for 25 minutes makes it way easier to start. It kills that I have to study for hours dread. And those short breaks, they keep you fresh so your brain doesn't melt halfway through chapter 5. So grab a timer and give your brain some structure. It's honestly one of the easiest hacks to stay consistent and actually remember what you learned. Tip number 4. Teach it like you're explaining it to a goldfish. Sounds silly, but this is seriously one of the best ways to see if you're actually understanding something. Or if you're just nodding along like, yeah, totally get it. When your brain's going like, what now? Try to explain what you just learned out loud, as if you're teaching it to your little brother, your grandma, or yep, even your pet goldfish. If you can break down in super simple words without tripping over yourself or constantly saying, you truly get it. But if you start fumbling or realize halfway through that you can't actually connect the dots, congrats, you just found exactly what you need to review. This is called the Feynman technique, by the way, named after a Nobel Prize winning physicist who literally swore by this method. So yeah, if it's good enough for this genius scientist, it's definitely good enough to help you ace that history exam. Tip number 5. Some cheat codes, your environment and your sleep. Let's be real, you can use all the fancy study techniques in the world, but if you're going to do it lying in bed, phone buzzing every 2 minutes, running on 2 hours of sleep and 7 Red Bulls, your brain's going to laugh at you and say, nice try. First, fix your environment. Study at a clean desk or table, keep your phone out of arm's reach, or better yet in another room without notification alerts. And set up everything you need before you start. You'll be amazed how much brain power you save by just not having to constantly stand up for a pencil or a glass of water. And then there's sleep. This is probably the most underrated hack out there. Sleep is when your brain actually processes and stores everything you learned. If you're pulling all-nighters thinking it'll help you ace a test, sorry to break it to you, you're probably just nuking your memory. So yeah, work smart, but also let your brain do its job while you're dreaming about whatever weird stuff you dream about. That's how you lock in those A+ grades. Alright, let's have the daddy talk with a little motivation. And why all this actually works. Most people think the top students are just naturally gifted, like they're popped out of the womb, quoting Shakespeare and solving stupidly difficult equations. But in reality, they're usually just the ones who have the best systems. They know how to study, they study in small regular chunks, they use active recall, they teach what they know, they set up their environment so it's harder to fail than it is to succeed. And yes, they get enough sleep so their brain can do its behind the scenes magic. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, you just have to be the one with the smartest approach. And the best part, once you start seeing those A+ results, it becomes addicting. You build confidence, you realize, hey, I can totally do this. And suddenly, school feels a whole lot less terrifying. So try these tips, give them a few weeks, then watch how much easier everything gets. And hey, you still have plenty of time to hang out with your friends or binge Netflix big show guilt-free, because now you're studying smarter, not longer. So now you have the secret sauce to study smarter and crush those A+ grades without losing your sanity or your social life. So go ahead and give these tips a try. And when you're flexing those top marks, remember who gave you the game plan. If this video helped you out, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button like it's your procrastination habit, so that you can get more tips and maybe even a few laughs along the way. Thanks for watching, and remember, getting A+ grades isn't magic, it's just smart work. And now it's your turn to show the world what you're made of. I love you.